Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Sleep Detective podcast, formerly the Insomnia Fix. So, in this podcast, this is where sleep, health, and longevity are inevitable. So, welcome. This is a bonus episode celebrating the new name. And I want to tell you about what can help if you're going through a bout of insomnia. So, this happens to me every once in a while still, where it's like I'm sleeping great. And for you, it might be you're sleeping better. And then you have this off night or a few nights. So, what do you do? Now, the first thing is you don't want to panic and spiral out. I know this is easier said than done, especially when we're sleep deprived. It's so hard to stay calm and to be positive, but this is a time when it is most important. And the more you practice this, the better you will get at it. This is what I work with my clients on, and I see them getting better and better at this. So I will send you or add some links to some other episodes about tools you can use to kind of reframe your mind and to stay calm and things like that. But I really want you to work on your thoughts and kind of recognize, are you going to, oh no, here we go again. I can't sleep. I'm going to have to live with this forever. I'm not going to be able to function. I'm not going to be able to be healthy. I'm not going to be able to take care of my kids and my family. Like, what are those crazy thoughts that start spiraling as soon as you have this bad night? And this can be in the middle of the night when you aren't sleeping or the next day when you're super tired. It's easy for this to start happening. But I just want you to think about the fact that you didn't sleep well is a neutral circumstance. And it's only our thoughts about it that make it good or bad. And so if we can start thinking this is okay, this is not a big deal, this doesn't mean that this is forever, then it's going to change your experience of that. Because once you start spiraling into those negative thoughts, you're just going to get into a panic. Your body's going to get into fight or flight, which is going to cause even more stress, right? Like your body's already stressed from not sleeping and from whatever was causing you not to sleep. So then worrying about it, feeling anxious about it is just going to make it worse. And it's really hard to stay calm, obviously, when you are in fight or flight. And it's also hard to figure out what to do and to make decisions when you're in fight or flight. We're much better at thinking rationally and using our intuition, even when we are in a calm state versus when we are in that stress state. So, the first thing I suggest is taking care of yourself and doing whatever you need to do to calm your nervous system. And I have an entire episode about that I will link to. So that might be first thing in the morning. That those are the things that you're doing is making sure to calm your nervous system and to pay attention to what you're thinking and to change those thoughts as much as you can into more neutral. They don't have to be crazy positive, like, "I'm gonna sleep great tonight, it's not a big deal," but it's just like, "This isn't a big deal. This is just one night." And so more neutral thoughts can really help. Now, something else that I really pay attention to when this happens to me is I really focus on my diet. And a lot of times I will have an off night because of something that I've eaten. I remember this happened like a month ago. I ate out at this restaurant and it was really greasy and, of course, really good, but my stomach hurt that night and I didn't sleep well. So I knew that it was from that. So what I really focus on then is like I will make a soup the next morning for breakfast. So I like to have some sort of bone broth on hand, whether it's homemade that's in the freezer or something I bought from the store. And I will add kale and potatoes and chicken or breakfast sausage or something like that, and drink it as a soup. And then I'll try to have broth again later that day. So the broth really helps, soothe our gut and helps it be able to heal. So I feel like this always helps me. And then I also make sure that I'm not eating inflammatory foods. So I try to eat really simply, really whole foods. I don't have the tortilla chips that I might have on a different day. I don't eat dairy that sometimes I cheat on and eat. But if I'm not sleeping well, I'm going to go back to cutting out dairy. So I really focus on a meal or all my meals being whole foods, anti inflammatory foods, very gut soothing foods. So I find that that helps a lot. Now, of course, I don't drink alcohol or do any other recreational drugs if I haven't been sleeping. So, we know that alcohol affects sleep. Like study after study shows this. I got to the point where I couldn't tolerate any alcohol. Like I would literally feel hungover within an hour of drinking it. And then that kind of improved, but I would always sleep poorly if I drank it. Now I've gotten to the point where I can have a drink or 2, once a week or once every couple weeks and still sleep fine. I'm sure it's affecting the quality of my sleep, but I'm not awake in the middle of the night. So I've gotten to this point where I drink alcohol occasionally, but if I'm going through a bout of insomnia, I am not going to drink alcohol. And so I recommend the same for you. I'm also get really strict again about the sleep hygiene. So I'm sure you know what that means, but that means that I don't watch TV before bed for a couple of nights if that's what needs to happen, even though most nights I do watch TV before bed. I wear blue light blocking glasses, I watch TV with my husband, and then I still take some time to read afterwards so that I have this break from screens before bed. But I truly believe that, yes, screens can affect the quality of our sleep, but they aren't the main reason why people aren't sleeping. Because millions of people watch TV every night and sleep just fine. And so it's not a cause of insomnia, especially like long-term chronic insomnia. There's just more to it than that. It has to do with underlying health issues in your body. And so this is why people get really frustrated when they follow what I call the sleep rules or that sleep hygiene and they don't get any better. But I found that it really helps if I am struggling to sleep to follow these rules more strictly, and it does help. So I'll make sure that, again, I'm not watching screens, that I'm not drinking caffeine, especially after the morning. So I'd get really strict on that. Having that winding down bedtime routine, maybe I add in a meditation before bed that I don't always do unless I'm overly stressed, but I'll add that in. And so, again, like, these aren't reasons why people aren't sleeping, but it can really help to follow these, especially if you've had an off night. Now, I also make sure to exercise or at least move my body. I actually don't do strenuous exercise if I didn't sleep well the night before. Usually I'm too tired to, and that's my body telling me not to. But to try and force that is just putting your body under more stress. Like your body's already releasing all these cortisol from not sleeping enough. And then if you do strenuous exercise on top of that, you're just staying in that fight or flight response and that stress response even more. So gentle, going on a 30-minute or an hour walk can really help, but I don't on those days go on a strenuous mountain bike ride or go for a trail run or anything like that. So, gentle movement of your body is great. And then I also think about, did I add any new supplements in the past week or so? So, when I have clients and when I introduce supplements, I do them one at a time. I do them very gradually because a lot of my clients are sensitive to supplements, including myself. I have been very sensitive to supplements in the past. And so sometimes a new supplement can be interfering with your sleep, and maybe it's taken a few days or a week to build up in your body to where it is interfering with your sleep. And so if I've started anything new, I just cut it out. And I go back to my basic supplements. Like I take a probiotic every day, I take minerals every day, I take 5-HTP every day. And if I'm not sleeping too, I might add some liver support. I might add a binder. These things that can help with detox, because for me, a lot of times it is detox issues that are causing me to not sleep. So I'll kind of add some more boosting supplements and I'll cut out anything new. And I know I have in the past, I'd get freaked out. I would just cut out everything I was taking. And I think that's fine to do for a few days, just to let your body, get back in balance on its own without adding other things can be a good time to take a break. So I hope this is helpful. I think the key to this is to not let one bad night or a few bad nights turn into weeks and months and years of bad sleep, which it easily can if we don't take care of ourselves and especially if we panic about it. So that's what I recommend. And of course, if this is happening over and over again and your sleep isn't getting any better, then it is time to get some help. It's time to figure out what's going on because I find that, for all my clients, there are these underlying health issues. There's this chaos in the body that is causing their sleep issues. It's not all mental. Yes, the mind can play a role for sure, but that's not the only reason you aren't sleeping. I mean, if you can't sleep, your body is not functioning properly. And once one system starts not functioning properly, other systems start not functioning properly and you are in this state of imbalance, even though all your body wants to do is get back in balance. So I use the lab testing and the assessments I do to find out what's out of balance because it's a little different for everyone. And then I give them a plan to get back in balance. And this can take some time. That's why it's not an overnight thing. But I believe that good sleep is inevitable for everyone. It just means having a healthy body and not having stress, like mental stress, affect your sleep as well. So, if you haven't heard, to celebrate the new podcast name, I also came up with a lower cost introductory offer for you. So, if you haven't been ready to invest in my full complete sleep solution program, then this is a 6-week program that's looking specifically at gut health to address that reason why all of my clients aren't sleeping. Gut health is always a part of it. So this includes a GI map, which looks at your overall gut health. Again, it's 6 weeks of support. You get a session with me to go over those results. You get a customized supplement and lifestyle plan. You get 10% off supplements, and I have a lot of great bonuses for you as well. So you can find out those details in another episode that I'm doing, and I will link to that in the show notes as well. All right, everyone. Thanks for listening. Thanks for your support of the podcast. If you find this helpful, I would love a review in Apple Podcasts. That way, more people can find this and get the help that they need. All right. I will talk to you next time.